Good morning or good afternoon if you're watching this by 12 p.m. If you don't know, we have a very impressive heavy rainstorm developing over the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan areas. For the most part, the majority of this heavy rain has been focused from southwestern Connecticut down through the New York City metropolitan area and Long Island, and over much of central and southern New Jersey. Northwestern New Jersey is starting to get into the action as well, and as you can see, we have more rain to the west starting to develop. So expect northeastern Pennsylvania and really much of eastern Pennsylvania to get into the action with this heavy rain event. So let's take a look at the radar, zoomed in a little bit, and you can see we have a rather impressive series of flash flood warnings throughout the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area. Why do we have flash flood warnings established, besides the fact that it's raining incredibly heavy? Well, when we look at the Mesonet data, again, this is completely free. Let me show you the address here. Just go to noaa.gov, and if you go to the web page for Philadelphia or for New York City, this link is right up front in the Mesonet area, and you can't miss it. It's excellent to get this data. It's free. You already pay for it. Might as well use it. So, what do we have here for rainfall amounts? Well, anywhere from 1 inch to almost 4 inches of rain has fallen. Over 4 inches over parts of Long Island and parts of northwestern New Jersey and western New Jersey. It's been extremely impressive. You can see where the heaviest rainfall. In fact, almost 6 inches of rain has fallen around. Over 6 inches of rain has fallen in JFK. I mean, this is just amazing rainfall. And if there's any locations that have been below normal in rainfall, this rainstorm ought to make up quite a bit for that heavy rain threat. And you can see even in portions of Andover, rainfall amounts of 2.2 inches. It's starting to create flash flooding problems. It's a significant rainstorm. And although portions of southeastern New Jersey are missing out on the heaviest rainfall, don't worry, more rain's on the way, and I'll show you why in just a minute. But you can see where the heaviest rainfall is setting up. Rainfall amounts range anywhere from 2 to 6 data. We're getting new data moved in. Here's the latest data is 11/23, 3.29 inches in Brick, New Jersey, Cherry Hill, and around Philadelphia, around a little over 3 inches of rain. Down in Delaware, 6.5 inches of rain. I mean, this is just an amazing rainfall event. It's actually more impressive than I thought it was going to be yesterday afternoon for this location. I was expecting anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of rain, but these rainfall totals are really pushing it. 5 inches of rain around in LaGuardia, 6.73. We're easily going to push 8 inches of rain in JFK at this point. So you can see this is an extremely heavy rain event. Lancaster's also getting up there over half an inch of rain, up to 6.65, and portions of Chester County, the airport's getting close to an inch. And all these locations will be over an inch of rain by the time we're done. And portions of the rest of Connecticut, you'll be getting into this heavy rainfall as well. So let's take a look at the Mesonet here, and let's take a look at the latest surface features. See, our area of low pressure is around southwestern Pennsylvania, but it's actually going to start to redevelop along the coast this evening and produce even more rainfall, which I'll show in the model guides. But notice that winds are coming in from the southeast and from the east. They're starting to push up along the Appalachian Mountains. So that's why I think that heavy rain is going to start to break out over portions of eastern Pennsylvania due to orographic lifting. And also an important thing to note with this easterly wind is that there's been some discussion with the potential for severe thunderstorms, but as you can see, the lifting index is very weak. In fact, it's positive over portions of the Atlantic and over portions of northeastern Pennsylvania. This does not support severe weather. It doesn't support elevated thunderstorms. And when we look at the mid-levels of the atmosphere, you can see it's slightly unstable, and that will support some elevated thunderstorms, and that's where you're getting your very heavy downpours. As far as heavy rain precipitation, this is going to be an important key, because this 850 millibar low is going to reposition off of the New Jersey coast, and that's going to drive moisture from the Atlantic right into the New Jersey coast and right into Pennsylvania. And when you got an easterly wind at the middle levels coming right into the Appalachian Mountains, that creates an awful lot of orographic lifting in this location from eastern Pennsylvania to western New Jersey. And I'm expecting that heavy rain band that's developing over the Delaware River Valley through southwestern Connecticut to start to expand through much of eastern Pennsylvania as this upper level low at the mid levels transitions towards the coast. And I want to bring up precipitable water. As you can see, plenty of moisture in the atmosphere. We're having a bit of a dry gradient here, and that's what's saving northeastern Pennsylvania and portions of the central Hudson River Valley right now. But I think this will become overwhelmed as our mid-level, upper-level low starts to transition towards the New Jersey coast. And if you weren't convinced yet that we're dealing with a heavy rain event, well, this pretty much seals it. Here's the impact from that dry air. That will not last very long. It's starting to become eroded already. And you can see a lot of the lifting, a lot of the mesoscale gradients that support mesoscale lifting, all focused along the northern Mid-Atlantic. That's going to produce tremendous heavy rainfall. Already has. At this point, I would not be surprised if someone ends up with about 10 inches of rain out of this. The way that the rainfall is starting to pile up, and we're dealing with some significant flash flooding problems with this situation. Now, I want to bring in the water vapor satellite picture, and I'm going to zoom in here. Okay, now here's our surface features. See one area low pressure around North Carolina, another one around southwestern and southern Pennsylvania and northern Virginia, and then we have our cold front and low pressure system over the eastern Great Lakes. All this is going to congeal into one low pressure system off the New Jersey coast. If you're saying, gee, this sounds a lot like a winter pattern, winter storm, you'd be right. This is basically like a nor'easter. And you can see as this upper level disturbance, let me take off this front here, as this upper level disturbance starts to redevelop along the east coast, you can see all this lifting starting to develop. See all the blues popping up? This is all because of enhanced lifting, and it's just going to continue to increase and intensify as this upper level disturbance repositions itself along the east coast, and this upper level low will track in this direction. All the lifting will redevelop here, and we'll get an area low pressure setting up right here. And you see upper level winds. This is what we call divergence and diffluence. The air is rapidly moving out of this location and spreading apart. That allows the lower levels of the atmosphere to rise. You get strong lifting, and then with the addition of moisture, you get heavy rainfall. And that's pretty much what we have setting up here. Now, let's go to the model guidance. And this is the latest NAM model guidance. Reposition this here. And you could clearly see we have a rather impressive storm starting to develop. Now, this is by tomorrow morning. This storm's still going by tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. That's 12Z, 8 a.m. You see our area low pressure sitting off the New Jersey coast. Our upper level disturbance is starting to redevelop along the east coast. And you see our mid-level, upper level low developing over portions of Pennsylvania. And very heavy rain has set up over New Jersey. So this upper level low continues to redevelop and shift. And the rain likely really doesn't exit until early Tuesday morning around 1 a.m. So we're dealing with rainfall all the way through tomorrow. Now, I mentioned that when the upper level low repositions, we'll see even more of an expansion of rain. This is by, let's shift to this evening. This is for 850 millibars right here. Notice how our upper level low is starting to shift towards the east coast. And then we move towards tomorrow, 24 hours. Now look where our new upper level low is. Our mid-level low is off the New Jersey coast. And let me zoom in here, see if I can zoom in. Notice where the winds are coming in. They're coming in from the east and the northeast. And that means that the Atlantic moisture is being driven into the east coast. And we already have strong lifting associated along the east coast as our upper level low transitions to the east coast. And we have also strong southerly winds at the upper level. So we have everything all combining to produce very heavy rainfall over portions of eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So again, if you don't have to go outside, do not go out in this rainstorm. Very heavy rainfall, moderate to major ponding, flash flooding all over the place. Rainfall amounts at this point, the way things are developing, probably will push into the 10-inch area. And by the way, this will not be the last type of storm that we see out of this type of pattern. We're in a new pattern. I call it the fall pattern. I've been advertising it for a couple of weeks now. And it looks like for all my premium members, you knew this was coming. And obviously not as intense of a rainstorm. And this is off the charts compared to what we were seeing with the mild guidance. But this is what happens when you draw in tropical moisture and interact with a polar air mass. You get a lot of heavy rain. Stay safe out there.